Have you ever listened to a song and thought, they've written a really good song? Well, maybe it was created by a really good songwriter, just not the artist you heard singing it. Let's check out the top 10 songs that are actually amazing covers of the original.
I don't know what to do with myself.
Number 10 is from 2003 by the White Stripes. The uber-emotional I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself was on the Elephant album and made it into the top 40 in many countries including the US and UK. Jack White really goes to town in this version of this 60s hit, ensuring that if there were any breaks in his guitar squealing raw emotion, his vocal cords would take over. Written by famous music writers and producers Hal David and Burt Bacharach, the first recording of this classic hit was actually recorded and released by Tommy Hunt in 1962.
I just don't know what to do with myself.
But it didn't make it into the charts. This almost crooning approach to the song by Hunt may have been past its time in 1962. That same year, Chuck Jackson had a go at recording the song, in a very similar style to Hunt's version.
I just don't know what to do with myself.
But his version was shelved. That was until it was released on a 1984 compilation called Mr. Emotion. I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself did, however, become a global smash hit 2 years later, when Burt Bacharach found the right voice to reflect the feelings and pain that are in the lyrics of this song. That was Dusty Springfield.
I just don't know what to do with my time.
After releasing Dusty's version in June 1964, the song was a huge hit, reaching number 3 in the UK charts. The heartfelt lyrics, combined with Dusty's sincere and believable vocals, was exactly the formula David and Bacharach had been wanting for this hit. Over the past few decades, the song has been covered many times, including by Dionne Warwick, Linda Ronstadt, and even Elvis Costello, who returned very much to the original crooning style first used for this song.
I'm so used to
But the over-emotional, almost frenzied music and vocal expressions that the White Stripes bring to this classic change it up so dramatically that it is clearly worthy of being in this list. Joan Jett's 1981 smash hit, I Love Rock and Roll, became an anthem for rock music lovers worldwide. It stayed at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks and topped charts around the globe. This loud, rocky declaration of dedication to rock fitted Joan Jett perfectly. With a proven history as a true rocker, starting as a teen with the all-girl band The Runaways, where she sang, played rhythm guitar and wrote most of their songs, made it easy to hear and see Jett and the Blackhearts belt out this hit. The song, however, was not new. It first appeared in 1975 in the UK by The Arrows. Written by lead vocalist and guitarist Alan Merrill, the lyrics about the musician's love of rock music was written in response to the Rolling Stones' It's Only Rock and Roll But I Like It.
It's only rock and roll, but I like it. It's like an apology. No, I love rock and roll.
Jett claims that she saw the Arrows playing I Love Rock and Roll on UK TV in 1976 while she was there with the Runaways. Jett first recorded the song in 1979 with Steve Jones and John Cook from the Sex Pistols. However, it was a B-side and received no airplay. Jett's version has become such a classic that it holds 56th spot on Billboard's greatest songs of all time. It was also included in Wayne's World 2, resulting in a resurgence in popularity of the song and a new music video too. Kiss's 1991 God Gave Rock and Roll to You was released in conjunction with its inclusion in the movie Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It contains all of the classic rock music style Kiss had become so well known for: strong guitar riffs, heavy drumming, and long, loud harmonies, making it a worldwide hit in 1991. Sadly, it was the last song in which drummer Eric Carr played before passing away due to heart cancer 3 months after the song was released. I remember thinking when I first heard the song at the end of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, why don't Kiss play more awesome guitar solos like this in some of their other songs? Well, that's because it wasn't actually any of the guys in Kiss playing it. It was played by legendary guitar guru Steve Vai, which is why we don't actually hear it on Kiss's album. Mystery solved. Like many of you, I thought this was a Kiss original, and when I first heard it, it totally fitted their style and personas. But this too is a cover. The original was recorded in 1971 by British band Argent. Written by lead vocalist Russ Ballard, the song was released in 1973 and reached number 18 in the UK charts. While there's heaps of loudness, passion and drama throughout this rock anthem, this hidden gem is easily shadowed by the rockier and louder Kiss version. Tainted Love was a massive hit for Soft Cell in 1981, first having success in the UK, where it not only reached number 1 in the charts, it also became the number 1 UK single for 1981. It took more time to hit the US top 40, eventually reaching number 8, and then staying in the top 100 for a record-breaking 43 weeks. Tainted Love also made number 5 on VH1's 100 Greatest One-Hit Wonders of the 80s. Written by Ed Cobb, Tainted Love was originally recorded by American soul singer Gloria Jones in 1964. It was released as a B-side on her single My Bad Boy's Comin' Home, which failed to have any chart success. Another B-side? Are we starting to see a bit of a pattern with some of these songs here? It wasn't, however, a total flop, as it was included by NME at the 305th spot in their 500 greatest songs of all time. The slower synth and rhythm machine-based soft cell version's popularity has lasted for years, even leading to it being included in the 1993 Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin movie Coneheads.
Sometimes I feel I want to run away. I want to get away from the pain.
It's a song. Big hit on Earth.
Oh, Daddy, do you know you're still number 1? But girls, they wanna have fun.
This is the song that formally introduced Cyndi Lauper to the world, and what an amazing introduction. Filled with her quirky, high-pitched and squeaky New York vocals, combined with her clear enthusiasm and an upbeat synth-driven track, this was always bound to be a hit. Girls Just Want to Have Fun was a worldwide hit in 1983 through to 1984. It even made 22 in MTV's 100 Greatest Pop Songs. While this was the first time most people on Earth heard the tune, it is actually a cover. The original was written and recorded by Robert Hazard in 1979. However, it was only on a demo recording and progressed no further at the time. The making of the oddball video of Lauper performing the song is a true example of how favours, friends and teamwork can prove successful. That's Cyndi's actual mum in the kitchen, and her friend and professional wrestling manager, Captain Lou Albano, in the role of Cyndi's father. Her dance partner? That's her attorney, Elliot Hoffman. All of those girls in the video? They're a squad of secretaries from the offices of Portrait CBS Records. The bedroom scene was inspired by the cabin scene in the Marx Brothers movie A Night at the Opera. The song has also led to several parodies, most prominently Weird Al Yankovic's Girls Just Want to Have Lunch.
There's only one thing that they all like a bunch of girls, they wanna have lunch.
Your love gives me such a thrill. But your love won't pay my bills. I want money.
In 1979, when we first heard the Flying Lizards singing Money, it really did sound like it had been recorded in a kitchen. The piano sounded flat and exhausted. Any drum beat sounded like they really had used whatever saucepans they could find. And Deborah Evans Strickland's voice comes across as a girl who just woke up and really couldn't be bothered singing.
People may wonder why I speak the songs instead of singing them. The answer is really very straightforward. Singing is more difficult.
But that boldness to improvise and demonstration of being naughty with a tune, but still clearly having fun playing it, was a big surprise success for the group of former art school buddies, hitting number 5 in the UK, 50 on the US Billboard, and several top 40 charts around the world.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Not bad for a song made on a ridiculously low budget. While there have been tales that the band put the recording together for only $30, when asked in a 2013 interview about this rumour, Flying Lizard creator David Cunningham said that it was probably more like $9, plus the cost of a reel of tape and a couple of bus tickets, since he already had some tape recorders. Now most of you will have already recognised the song and said, "Ah, that's easy, that's a Beatles song."
Money don't get everything, it's true. What it don't get, I can use. Now give me more.
Well, you're right, it was a hit for the Beatles in 1963, but it's not the original version of Money. That honour goes to American Barrett Strong in 1960.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I need more.
Written by Berry Gordy and Janie Bradford, Barrett's original version reached number 2 on the Hot R&B Sides chart in the US, and 23 on the Billboard charts. Rolling Stone magazine has it listed at 288 in their greatest songs of all time. But almost more importantly than any of these awesome facts is this: it was the first ever hit for the newly formed Motown record label, paving the way for a league of music legends. The Beatles discovered this awesome dedication to capitalism while visiting Brian Epstein's NEMS record store. They liked it so much that they actually used it as their audition track at Decca Records on the 1st of January '62. Notice that Pete Best was still on drums at the time.
It's been 7 hours and 50 days.
If you were around in 1990 and didn't hear Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You almost every day, where were you?
Since you took your love away.
The powerfully emotional lyrics, sung by the almost angelic Irish voice of Sinead O'Connor, made this song such a huge hit that it's easier to say it topped charts all over the globe, rather than rattle off the list of all the countries it charted in. O'Connor put so much emotion into her performance that even in the video, those are actually real tears.
Nothing compares to you.
O'Connor said that she decided to let them flow when she thought about her mum, who had passed away in a car crash in 1985. The original Nothing Compares to You was written by Prince in 1984 for the band The Family, and while it was on their 1985 album called The Family, it was never released as a single and received no airplay. Prince released a live version of him singing the song in 1993.
Nothing compares, no, nothing compares to you.
O'Connor's unique video received several parodies over the years, including from Australian comedian Gina Riley in a 1990 episode of TV comedy show Fast Forward.
Guess what he told me? He said, girl, you're gonna look like Uncle Fester no matter what you do.
Sinead O'Connor's version was simulcast on radio stations throughout the US to commemorate Prince 15 days after his death. The simulcast was timed to reflect the song's opening lyric, "It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away."
It's been 7 hours and 50 days.
We're going to change things up here and talk about the original song first this time.
Set me free, why don't you, baby? Get out my life, why don't you, baby?
You Keep Me Hanging On was a massive hit for the Supremes in late 1966. It was their 8th number one in the US and is well known the world over as one of their most memorable hits. It was also another one of those famous Motown triumphs, thanks to their brilliant songwriting team Holland, Dozier and Holland, who composed many of Motown's big hits through the 60s. Notice that curious little guitar piece at the beginning? The songwriters included that to sound like the Morse code type of intro that could often be heard before a news announcement. This Motown classic is ranked 339 in Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time. Now let's switch back to the cover version of this song. Some of you may have heard Vanilla Fudge's 1967 remake of You Keep Me Hangin' On when you saw Tarantino's latest movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This extremely different take on the original did reach number 6 on the Billboard charts in '67 as a 3-minute single. However, it's the 7-minute and 20-second album version, which was recorded in one take, nicely done guys, that has been elevated to legend status over the past 5 decades. The song starts with a full 1-minute instrumental intro that just builds and builds up the sense of raw emotion that's coming up. And then as soon as the vocals start, it's straight into that extremely emotional pleading. Just look at the pained expressions on their faces as they're belting out just the first few lines. Interestingly, while the rhythm is slower than the original, every other element of the song is louder, stronger, and heavily emphasized. The result is that Vanilla Fudge totally succeed in making the message of this song so much more believable, which is exactly what drummer Carmine Appice said they were aiming for. In a 2014 interview, he said that this song was a hurtin' song, and that the Supremes' fast-paced version sounded too happy.
When seeing you only breaks my heart again, and there ain't nothing I can do about it.
But that the lyrics are definitely not happy.
There must be some kind of way out of here. Say the joker to the thief.
One of the greatest songs of all time, performed by one of the greatest rock stars of all time. The world was blessed to first hear Jimi Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower in September 1968. Listed at number 47 in Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time, and number 5 on Guitar World's list of the 100 greatest guitar solos. This rock masterpiece has lasted the test of time and is still an outstanding example of some of the best guitar work ever performed. Hendrix recorded the song in London with the help of Rolling Stones' multi-instrumentalist Brian Jones, playing the various percussion instruments on the track. Jimi Hendrix's band, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, heard the original version of the song for the first time on the same day that he brought a recording of it into the London studios, with the intention of adding his own style to Bob Dylan's ballad.
There must be some way out of here. Say the joker to the thief.
The original version by Bob Dylan first appeared on his John Wesley Harding album in 1967. It's claimed that he wrote it during a period of recovery after a motorcycle accident in '66. Dylan's original version so clearly sounds like a narrator setting the storytelling stage and sharing an epic tale, introducing multiple characters with regular instrumental bursts, mostly involving his harmonica. Music historian Clinton Halen suggests that while Dylan sets the story stage, after the instrumental interlude, he finishes off the song, leaving the listener to fill in their own doom-laden blanks.
All along the watchtower, princes kept the view.
While Dylan sets himself up as the storyteller of the song, Hendrix actually pulls you into the story to experience it with him.
All along the watchtower, princes kept the view.
The same type of message is reflected in the instrumental breaks. Bob Dylan takes a break from sharing the story to play his harmonica and allow the listener to reflect on the tale. While Jimi grabs you and says, let's get in there with these characters and fully experience this. Here we are, number 1. And if you want to look at a song so dramatically different to the original version, it's almost impossible to go past Joe Cocker's With a Little Help from My Friends as the most extreme and amazing. This 1968 classic propelled Cocker to rock star status around the world. Cocker's Woodstock performance of the hit song has become one of the standard clips used to reflect the energy of the rock that was being played at that monumental event. Interestingly, Cocker did actually call on the help of some friends to record the studio version, including Procol Harum's drummer B.J. Wilson and Led Zepp's Jimmy Page. The original version by the Beatles first appeared on their 1967 album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Paul McCartney and John Lennon specifically wrote the song for drummer Ringo Starr's vocals as the character Billy Shears. Here's an interesting fact. Starr asked for the first line, which originally was, "What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you throw ripe tomatoes at me?" to be changed, so that fans wouldn't throw tomatoes at him should he perform it live. This was because after George Harrison had made a passing comment that he liked Jelly Babies, the group was showered with them at all of their live gigs.
What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me?
There have been at least 50 cover versions of the song, but aren't we so grateful for Joe Cocker's amazing version? Anyone who watched TV in the late 80s will also remember hearing Cocker's masterful version of this song as the intro to the hit American show The Wonder Years.
What would you do if I sang out of tune?
Paul McCartney once commented saying that it was just mind-blowing and totally turned the song into a soul anthem, and that he was forever grateful for him doing the song. Comparing the two is just unfair. I mean, listen to the extreme difference in response to the question, do you need anybody?
I just need someone to love.
While Ringo's response continues with the already established rhythm and mood of the song, Joe responds like someone's just belted his big toe with a hammer. Well, there you have it, rockers. That's our top 10. Did we get it right? If you can think of any that we might have missed, please mention them in the comments below. If we get enough good suggestions, we might make a second list. The first of you to mention any song that gets included in a further 10 will be acknowledged and thanked in the new video. Oh, and please remember to click like and subscribe if you want to see more lists like this one. Thanks so much for watching, and keep rocking.